Welcome to our 2023 wrap-up. You're joining us here from our kitchen today because we're on holiday break.
Holiday break.
Until January 2nd or sometime. So I've got some meat sauce for lasagna simmering in the background. We've got some animals around us. We've just been...
Not me, over there.
Yeah, we've been chilling out today and the past couple days.
It's starting to snow again, so that's a nice... gift for our holiday break.
Staying nice and cozy. We hope you guys had a great Christmas and Happy New Year. So today in this video, I have some reflection questions to ask Aaron, and then hopefully he'll ask me the same questions so we can kind of have a conversation about what happened in 2023 and maybe some of what our goals are for 2024. He's not been prepped for this, so let's jump on in.
It's like a quiz bowl, except about my life.
What was your favorite memory from 2023?
Work-related or life-related?
You can do both.
So work-related was the training I went to in Lithuania. It was just really...
blast.
I don't know why. It was just really fun for me. It kind of felt like camp in a way. But just to go there, and it was like the first, like work-related, really like training thing I had done for the job that I have. As I've told many of you, I have no idea what I'm doing, because my background is not in this. So this training back in March was the first thing that I had done. And so it was just really fun. It was a really good group of people, learned a whole lot, and made some really good connections with different organizations. So.
Now you have to ask me.
No, moving on. What was your favorite memory?
My favorite memory is semi-work related and semi-personal because one of our youth was there. But I'm going to say running the Riga Marathon was my favorite moment of the year because similarly to how I felt when I ran the Corvallis half, but even more so in Riga, like people came out, people cheered, and it was just such a great moment. It was an accomplishment for me. It was something that I worked for 5 months, 6 months to be able to do. And I was really proud of myself. And then one of our youth also ran the 10K, so she was there and part of that day. And it was just all amazing. So
my favorite personal memory for 2023 was our 10th anniversary.
Yeah, I was going to say, the next question is, where did we travel in 2023?
We went to Prague for our 10th wedding anniversary.
It's a really fun trip.
It was really fun. Beautiful city. Very interesting city, yeah. Like, just really, really, really cool.
Where else did we travel in 2023? You went to Lithuania. You talked about that already. We went to the Czech Republic.
Went to Arkansas. Went to Oregon.
Yeah. That was in June. Then in September, I went back to Arkansas to Oklahoma for KFO.
Woohoo!
And we went to Estonia in September. In 2023, did you learn anything new?
Anything new? Related to the training. So it was, well, I thought the training was just a 1-part training, but as I'm sure I've told some of you know, it was not a 1-part training. It wasn't even a 2-part training. It's like a 5 or 6-part training, and it's still going on. So the second part of the training was in Liepaja, major city on the coast here in Latvia, and that was in October,
because you were gone, and then I had to leave for the States, and our trips overlapped by like a day. So we didn't see each other for like 3 weeks in September, and Charlie had to take a vacation to the Bannisters for a night.
So the second part of the training in Liepaja was all about mentoring. Specifically, that's what I do for Lighthouse. And so because I don't know what I'm doing, and because I've never built a mentoring program, I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know if there's, all these gaps, if there's blah, 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 all this stuff. But I learned that basically what we've built at Lighthouse, other organizations do incredibly similar things. And so it wasn't a brand new thing I learned. It wasn't a brand new thing I learned, but it was more that I learned that, okay, I might not be fully trained to do what I'm doing, but it just kind of makes sense to me in a way. And so, of course, I'm not doing it alone. We have a staff of 5, and so it's not just everything coming out of here, but what we have built together makes sense. And other places in Latvia, other places in Lithuania, other places in Poland do very similar things. And so that was really nice and refreshing to see that, yeah, what we're doing works. We just got to give it time. What did you learn?
I learned some things from a freelance marketing job that I've been doing since February. If you hadn't heard, or if I didn't mention it here, I'm not sure if I had. I took on some freelance marketing work. I'm working for a small marketing agency in Denver, and I've been doing that, like I said, since February. I actually got promoted. I'm a project manager for the company now, so I'm actually working with clients. It's really exciting. But I learned a little bit about search engine optimization when I was at Printful. My last job, my first job in Latvia, I guess. But I've learned a lot more in this role, and I've done a lot more SEO work for those clients through the agency, and I've implemented that for the Lighthouse. So hopefully now, if you search for Lighthouse Transitional Care, you can find us easily, and you'll get to where you need to go. Hopefully to the donation page. Something else I learned that is fun is that I taught myself how to play chess this year.
You taught yourself?
Yeah.
Or did you have a tutor?
I taught myself the rules. Yeah, so I decided I wanted to learn chess, and then Aaron decided he wanted to start playing chess again and got super obsessed with it. You want to share your username if anybody wants to play you?
Lil Ronnie Boo.
Lil.
Lil. LILRONNIEBOO.
Lil Ronnie Boo. So
Lil Ronnie
if
Boo.
you want to play him in chess,
Chess.com.
I'm also on chess.com, but I haven't played a human yet. I'm still playing the computer.
Just me.
Yeah. So I learned chess. What are some goals you accomplished this year? You don't really set goals.
I do not. As a person, I do not set goals.
Mm-hmm.
That should not surprise anyone listening, watching this. But, as I've said 3 times in this video now, I don't know what I'm doing in this job. I was asked to come here to do this job because I'm relational, because I love people, and because I believe in the work and feel like Jesus called us to do this. So, of course, I said yes and came. But my training is not in this work. My training is not a nonprofit, social work, whatever, anything like that. So I've just been saying this as a joke. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Ha 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 ha. But after a certain point, that just becomes irresponsible and ridiculous and just any number of things that are not good. And so the trainings that I went to in March and September were part of my attempts to learn to do what it is I'm supposed to do. And so it wasn't a goal that I set out necessarily and, wrote anywhere and whatever, but just like, hey, okay, I should probably know how to do this. And so I've gotten some training, from this organization in Liepāja called U+, along with some other organizations in Lithuania that conducted the training, and then gotten some help from Silver Lining Mentoring out of Boston. Got some help from them. Been listening to more podcasts, which is also new for me. Reading, also new. So that I can, have a grasp of what it is I'm supposed to do. And not just what I'm doing, but why, and why certain things work, and all this stuff. So, what were some goals you accomplished this past year? Little Callie Boo.
I ran the marathon. That was a big goal. I published a book of poetry. That was another big goal.
Check it out.
You can buy it on your favorite online retailer.
Walmart.com.
And I stayed alive.
Sometimes that's...
I continued to communicate the message of the Lighthouse, which is my job, which I was trained for and I know how to do.
Very trained. Some would say overtrained.
Overqualified. Did you make any new friends this year?
Boy, howdy, have I made so many new friends. So it's a common thing here in Latvia. You don't talk to strangers, right? You don't talk to people you don't know unless you have a real need. Like, oh, excuse me, I need to get off the bus. I need to get off the tram. That is my shopping cart. Da, 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 da. Please don't hit me with your car. That kind of thing. yet something about this face and personality and whatever makes people want to talk to me. And specifically at the gym, I have made 4 or 5 friends this year at the gym. Of course, the people I've met at the trainings in Lithuania and Liepaja, people that I just see regularly. So for Thanksgiving, we make a turkey because we're Americans. That's what we do. And you have to order it in advance. And there's only a couple places you can do that. And one of the places you can do that is a store called Titarinj, or the Little Turkey. And I went in to order my turkey. The lady, we did everything. I had to go back in a week later because I realized I gave her the wrong date. I walked in, she immediately remembers me and changed the date. Okay, that's fine. And then last week for the Lighthouse staff Christmas party luncheon, I went to go get some ducks from Titarinj because I also have ducks. I walk in, the lady sees me and just starts smiling and remembers me and says hi. And what would you like to, starts going over to the turkey. And I said, no, today I would like a duck. Oh, a duck. So I'm making friends with the local shopkeepers even for the places that I frequent often. So yes, very many new friends.
I don't have the same effect on people, but I would say that we've also deepened relationships with people at church and also with the Robinson family.
Yes,
I want to
big time.
They came with us to English camp, and that was really cool. And we had like a 5 or 6 night sleepover in Montana, and
it's like vacation.
It's been just so cool to be friends. What surprised you this year?
What surprised me this year?
And if you don't say the one thing, I'm gonna be mad at you.
Oh, the one thing. The only thing that surprised me this year was my surprise birthday party that Callie threw me the day before we flew to the States.
On your birthday.
Looking back, it just seems so ridiculous to have a big party and then we fly out the next day.
That's why how it was a surprise. He wasn't expecting it because he kept saying, I think I want to do something for my birthday. And I kept saying, like, we'll just celebrate in America. Wow. I was planning this party like for 4 weeks before it happened.
Mm-hmm. And I kept almost ruining it because I was inviting half the same people that Callie was inviting to just a nice, chill dude time.
Not half, but
some amount, yes. And so some of them were like, "Oh, I can't come. I had da." And then some were
everyone who was invited messaged me and said, "What should I say?"
So.
And I told all of them, like, if you say no, he'll be really bummed, but maybe that's okay.
It's also fine.
So some of them said no, and some of them said yes.
Yep. So that was very surprising. No, as we've talked about quite a bit, being invited into different institutions, around the country, and we assume that there's been hesitation, that there's been kind of a misunderstanding of what it is we do and who we are and why we're doing it, and whatever. But being invited in, saying, hey, Lighthouse, why don't you bring your program, your people, your curriculum, your everything here and share it with us, share it with our youth. And so that's been really surprising to me that we didn't have to beg and plead, and there wasn't months of it was just like a call and an email one day, not to me, of course, but to Amanda and or to Datse. And so that was a really nice surprise that, these places have heard of us, have seen it, have whatever, and think, oh, this can be helpful and useful.
I think things are starting to shift in Latvia. I think that's something we've seen this year through these invitations. Yeah. People are thinking about working together with others. People are thinking about how to fix broken systems and how to better serve the youth. So that's really encouraging and really great to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, math questions.
No. What was the best decision we made this year? You or I made this year.
Is this another question that I should know the answer to?
Well, I have a pretty big one.
Maybe you go first.
Ask me.
What was the best decision you made this year?
Moving to this apartment. We moved in January 2023.
We had to break our lease to get out of the old place, but at the same time, still a good decision.
I think it was still a good decision.
Big time.
Because
look at this place.
You can go back and watch our moving vlog from January. And we were just so excited, and it's just turned out to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
We like the distance it is from the office, from the center. Like, it's actually nice to have a commute and kind of a separation in the day. We like the actual space.
Mm-hmm.
And we are staying next year, which is
Yes.
amazing. I think we talked about that in a previous video as
Mm-hmm.
well. But one thing I'm really excited to do in 2024 is to work on our office room on the other side of the house. It's not perfect, but we did finally sell our car last month.
Yep.
So that was a big step because we weren't driving it, and it was just the right thing to do to sell it instead of pouring more money into it that we could use other places. Yep. So there were extra tires in that room, and there were dog crates in that room, and now those things have moved out.
Aaron's guitar stuff all over the place.
There's extra space. No, it's good that your guitar stuff's in there. But I think I would enjoy using that room more if we just gave it a fresh coat of paint and fixed the closet door so you can actually close it.
Yes.
So those are projects for next year that we're excited to do. What was the most challenging part of the year?
Challenging part of the year.
Or most challenging thing that happened?
So, we are called Lighthouse Transitional Care. We are trying to help young adults transition from an institution into successful, thriving adulthood, right? Well, that obviously takes a lot of time, and there's usually a lot of steps and a lot of, ups and downs and stumblings, but then also progress. But some of the most challenging things I've seen is just, watching some of our youth transition from one job to the next, transition from being in school to not, transition to relationships, transition from living in this city or country to another city or country. And so, it always, it's difficult to watch. It's difficult to be there in because, we're giving our opinion when it's asked for. We're giving our advice. We're, speaking truth in love, but we can't make anybody, force anybody to do anything, of course. And so some of the decisions our youth make on occasion, not exactly decisions I would make or Callie or really anybody at Lighthouse would make, but, they need to make those decisions for themselves. And we need to be there for them, good or bad, up or down, left, right, whatever. And so just some of it's occasionally hard to experience with them and be there, to see.
I agree. Yeah. And a reminder that we share more candidly about these things in our newsletters. Yes. So sign up in the description box of this video if you're not already. Okay, next is a fun one after kind of a sad one.
Math question?
No. What's the best thing you watched, read, or listened to this year?
Best thing I watched, read?
Just any kind of fun media thing that you want to share or talk about or remember.
Me personally, I am not one to dive into television shows, to Netflix series, to whatever. Like, it takes me a long time. It's a big emotional investment for me to get involved with this thing that's 9 seasons long, and there's all these characters. Watching a 3-hour movie, it's much more easy for me to digest for whatever reason. So it's taken me a really long time to get to certain shows that I've heard are great and amazing and we should watch. Well, I don't remember who prodded us, but I had seen some stuff about Modern Family. Thought, hey, maybe we should watch this. I don't know. Okay. And then we started watching it, and oh my sweet goodness. If you have not seen Modern Family, you should watch Modern Family.
We spent a lot of this year watching Modern Family because Aaron would only let us watch 2 episodes a day, so it took us a while to get through 9 seasons.
Yeah, I like to savor. So it takes me a lot to get emotionally invested. It's a lot of, okay. But then when it happens, like, I want to savor it. I don't like binging shows and things, unlike some people. So we took our sweet time and watched this amazing, amazing show. If you have not seen it, please, please, please watch it. It is so good. It's so funny. It's so real and heartfelt and warm and just like
cozy.
It's so good.
Who's your favorite character?
Favorite character is probably Gloria.
Gloria. You love her.
Yes. No spoilers on who she is and why, but she's just fantastic and amazing.
You know.
If you know, you know. And we always like to, when we watch Big Bang Theory, we like to do who is who, from the show and The Office and other life, whatever. So from Modern Family, if you've seen Modern Family, probably no surprise, am very Phil-esque of me. And then also sometimes Cam. It's kind of interesting. So, yeah. Fantastic show.
If Aaron's Cam, I'm Mitch. I've honestly never related to a fictional character more than Mitch.
There are some times where it's just like, man, did they have a secret camera in our house? And oh, we should put this in the show. It was spot on.
Anything you read.
So funny.
Ted Lasso season 3 came out this year in March.
That's true.
We watched that.
We did.
We loved Ted Lasso.
We did.
We liked the Barbie movie.
We did.
You liked it more than I thought you would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I also saw Oppenheimer, and we saw
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, on the same night, but separately.
Yeah.
Callie went to see it with with a friend of ours at the theater. I watched it at home. And then we also saw the new Wes Anderson movie, Asteroid City.
Asteroid City was great.
So it was a year of a lot of new, visual media for me.
Yeah.
What other media? What media did you consume?
I want to mention some books.
Of course. I'll just step away, come back in about 35 minutes.
Not too many, but I did read a lot of memoirs this year. I read Tom Felton's memoir.
Tom Felton!
Behind the Wand. I read Beth Moore's All My Knotted Up Life. I love Beth Moore because she's from Arkansas. She's from Arkadelphia, and I just think that's cool. Prince Harry's memoir was cool, I thought.
Wait, Harry Potter?
No.
Oh.
And then I read / listened to the audiobook of Bono's memoir,
yes.
Surrender, which got me onto a huge U2 kick because I'd never really listened to them before, except for what was on the radio. But now I've listened to a ton of U2, and I'm a huge fan. And if anybody wants to give me tickets to go see them in that weird stage thing in Vegas, I would go.
I think they're done with their residency now.
Well, they should go
#sad
again.
face.
Maybe they'll go back. So yeah, memoirs this year were great. Then 2 more nonfiction books. One's sort of a memoir, but more about the AIDS crisis in the 80s and early 90s. Specifically in Arkansas, again, the author is Ruth Coker Burns, and she was living in Hot Springs and taking care of men who were suffering with AIDS and whose families would disown them. And she was part of a Methodist church in Hot Springs that completely disagreed with what she was doing, and reading that horrified me, and we talked a lot about it.
I remember you crying a bit.
Yeah, it was a really good book about a horrible thing that happened. And then another Arkansas-related book that my friend Kristen recommended to me is The Forgotten Girls by Monica Potts, and she's from a town called Clinton, Arkansas. It was part of my coverage area when I worked at the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, so I spent a lot of time there, and I could always tell there was something weird and different about Clinton, but I didn't really understand the history of it until I read this book. And it talks about kind of the divide between poor white rural people and majority populations. And it was so interesting. It had a lot of statistics about youth with trauma, specifically, youth with adverse childhood experiences, and just how that affects the rest of your whole life. So it was related to work. And then I read some fluffy romance books because in between all that seriousness, you gotta just take it easy. And my favorite that I'll mention is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. It was really cute and fluffy, and I recommend. Those are all my questions. Do you have anything else you want to say about 2023?
I mean, most of this conversation has been remembering what happened in 2023, because it feels like there's been a lot, and it feels like it was a long time ago. Some of it was not so long ago, but there was a lot. We've had a bunch of new youth come, again, new partnerships with different institutions in Riga and elsewhere. Yeah, just a whole lot of work and a whole lot of stuff and a whole lot of fun, a whole lot of not so fun.
Do you want to make any goals for 2024?
My goal is to not have any goals. That way, if I don't achieve them, I'm not disappointed.
Great. Well, the Lighthouse has some financial goals we're trying to reach. I've got some kind of more artistic goals that I want to reach.
Are you going to tell us about those artistic goals?
Nah, you can just stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
And we'll see ya in 2024.
Pretty soon.